It is a series that everyone's talking about. Richard Gadd's Baby Reindeer. It's based on his real-life experience in his 20s dealing with a stalker. Now, if you've seen the Netflix show, you'll know it deals with some really serious issues, including sexual abuse. We're going to be talking about that for the next 5 minutes, so you may want to turn your radio down if you have young ears around. The difficult subjects it deals with, not just stalking, as the central character Donnie reveals on stage, as Richard did, that he had been the victim of rape, as well as the other credits at the end of the episode. Richard Gadd thanks one organisation that he's an ambassador for, We Are Survivors. It's based just down the road from 5 Live in Salford and provides support for male survivors of sexual abuse, rape and sexual exploitation. Duncan Craig OBE is the charity's founder and chief executive and himself a survivor. Duncan, hello.
Howdy do.
It's so important, isn't it, that these kind of issues that are dealt with in drama. What do you think about the way it's dealt with in Baby Reindeer?
I think it's groundbreaking, quite frankly. And what I mean by that is I have personally, and the organisation's been involved in a number of dramas telling the story of male sexual violence. We started off quite a number of years ago, over a decade ago, with Hollyoaks, did a couple of stories with them. We did a couple of stories with Coronation Street, the rape of David Platt. And then more recently, we did a story with EastEnders. And whilst those stories are really important, and they really did begin to kind of put a foundation down to get people talking about male sexual violence, male vulnerability, this has completely changed the way that people are having conversations about male sexual violence. And I think no spoiler alerts. I'm going to be really careful not to spoil this for anybody. But about the episode 4, the middle of the series, that particular episode, I don't think I personally have ever seen male victimhood, for want of a better phrase, portrayed in that particular way. The brutality of it.
Yeah, I would completely agree with you.
It, yeah, the kind of the sheer vulnerability and this is really important, just the messiness of it. That it's not a clear and simple black and white story. It's not, that particular episode doesn't just deal with this happened to one person and then end. It's all of the messiness, the grey of it all, which I don't think we've ever seen before.
And I don't think, we were having this conversation earlier, I don't think you could kind of depict it in the way that it was depicted if it weren't in the drama. Because, as you say, you've got the time to follow those storylines, to follow the confusion, the vulnerability, the staying on in a situation where, you know, in more simplistic dramas, you'd be getting out, you know, and we all kind of understand because we know these stories that life isn't that simple.
And I also think as well, what I think is so exciting about the series, which is so different than the actual stage play. So, you know, in case people don't know, Baby Reindeer was originally a play. So it was a play that was off West End just before the pandemic and was about to come into the West End, was about to go into London and also Broadway. And then the pandemic hit, and maybe if we hadn't have had that sort of lockdown, that the actual series wouldn't have happened because it was during lockdown that Richard started developing it. But in a play, if you think about when you go to the theatre, you've got roughly about 2 hours, 20 minutes, 2 hours, 15 minutes to tell a story. That also includes your 20-minute interval.
Yeah.
When you've got a series of 7 episodes, each of anywhere between 30 and 50 minutes, you get to tell a more in-depth story. You get to tell a more complicated story.
Well, listen, we don't have much time, and I'm really sorry, but I just wanted to ask you, because it's not just about the sexual abuse, it's about the stalking, it's about coercive behaviour and feelings of being coerced and confused. And I know you've had a lot of people get in touch since Baby Reindeer has dropped on Netflix. So in under a minute, if you can, tell us if anyone's listening to this and they've been disturbed by the content of what we've been talking about, or it's ringing bells, what should they do?
So pick up the phone and ring 0808 500 2222. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's the National Rape and Sexual Abuse Support Line, or go to www.wearesurvivors.org.uk. It's never been your fault. All you need to do when you're ready is reach out, and we're here ready to listen.
Duncan, give us that number again.
0808 500 2222.
Brilliant to have you on the programme. Listen, we'll be reading that out again before the end of Drive. We really appreciate you coming on, Duncan Craig, Chief Executive, co-founder of that charity. And if you've been affected by sexual abuse or violence, go to bbc.co.uk/action line. Again, we'll read that number out before the end of the programme.